my sound going through? I was trying to play some music and it wasn't working, so I'm just trying to see if it's the song or if it's me. Let me try my. Where's the karaoke music? Let me see if that one works. I guess this one works. The old classic. Okay, we'll just go with that. What's up, Josie? How you doing? We're here to talk about the chapter this week. We got obviously now the actual the fan translations. It's close enough. We got the fan translations, which is good, and we can talk about stuff with actual context. I just muted my headset. My cat keeps fucking smacking it into the keyboard. What's up? It's just straight Urza, Grandmaster Diaz. How are you doing? What's going on with you guys today? I'm just getting everything all pretty much opened up, ready, and we'll start talking about. I mean, this chapter was pretty good. I thought that the new setup, cool. I like what's going on. I will say though, similar to what I talked about in the initial stream, doing the straight live raw reaction, there has to be some form of opposing force for like the next coming events. The next coming couple events, I think there needs to be some form of entity pushing back on the main cat. Well, not the direct main cat. Well, pretty much the main cast. It's really just minus Natsu. But, the fairy tale members, and if not, then I don't see how this won't just be really easy for them. Whether it's going to be Dogermag minions or Diablos members are going to get back up or what. With Selene on their side, one of the theories I had was Selene's children somehow get involved for whatever reason. I don't think that can happen because now why would they join in and then go against Selene if this is what she's wanting? And we don't know exactly what they're like. Maybe some would oppose her, but I doubt it would be enough really for the situation, and I doubt it would be enough also to really kind of fill in the blanks that would kind of exist just from there. What's up, Ashizura? How are you doing? What's going on? What are you guys up to today? I'm just gonna real quick. I was trying to post the stream on Twitter, and I'm trying to think of what to talk about. I'm just gonna do Dogermag stocks continue to rise. Put this chapter. Yeah, there we go. Good enough. I do, last 100 years quest. Actually, hold on a second. If I take off the frickin', there we go. I was thinking of the text on my thumbnail, and then I was like, oh, I'll just post that in there, because I do it sometimes. I very much enjoy posting little edited picture there. It just looks a little cool, just to give a little bit of incentive. Well, not incentive. It's some interest to say, hey, come look at the stream, come look at what we're talking about, and maybe even come read the chapter, because there's a lot really going on, and I really want to see where all this kind of plays out. Chat, remember to click the like button. Yes, I would very much appreciate if you would click the like button, like the stream, subscribe if you haven't. You feel like, if I've entertained you enough, $1 or whatever would be appreciated. You don't have to. I will say though, I think it would be fair, if I give you enough entertainment over the course of a month for $1 per month. What is that? Like 3 cents a day? I was just thinking, that's fine. Like return a can. Actually, I gotta look into that. I gotta look into can returns because I remember. So I grew up where you can normally return cans for 5 cents a can, and then I moved to a different state, and I didn't even know there was one point I was collecting cans, I'll have $20 or whatever when I go return these, and then I realized they didn't do can returns in their state, and I was just kind of confused, and it wasn't oh man, they don't have it here. It was I didn't know other states don't do this, so I figured most of them do. Maybe some of them I guess I don't know what the ratio is for those that do that aren't. Why is Earth Dragon God so strong? You fight Natsu and Suzaku, who are both human Dragon God level. Well, the thing is, Natsu and Suzaku aren't in full at level of a human Dragon God. It was their max power. Natsu, you had to use Dragon Force and Purgatory Slashing. Dragon Fire. Suzaku had to use his Black Blade, Purgatory Slash. That's their biggest things. It's like Urza and Misaki. Urza overall. Urza, widespread, wasn't stronger than Misaki, but she has an attack that was able to beat her. And she wasn't as close as, how Laxus, Laxus's Red Lightning could damage Kirin just by itself. It was, this is the only thing I have that didn't really beat it. And that was similar to what Natsu and Suzaku had. The second, they started to get serious against them, and then they pretty much just needed to whip out their trump cards. What's up, Guillotine? How's it going? Happy getting heated was funny, and then he throws a tantrum. Happy and Selene dynamic I'm looking forward to. I think it's going to be pretty funny. Just because,
Selene is definitely damaged. I'm wondering if, well, I feel like it's going to be sure that Wendy is going to heal her, because if she's helping them and they're on, like, even if they're not, like, directly on her side or vice versa, I think Wendy is going to see it as an opportunity to help, just because, like, how her personality is, and it's like, even if it's a temporary kind of thing going on, then I think she would help her. Selene good now? Well, Selene isn't evil. Selene is just, like, she just does whatever she wants. Sometimes that'll align with the best interests of the humans, and sometimes it won't. It really just depends on her mood. She's not evil. She just has so much power, and she just has that personality that goes along with it, that she just causes problems just because nobody can stop her if she wants to do something. I was reading the chapter in Japanese. What's that thing Gajo got from... oh, no, he has a... Infinite pull out of his ass. Apparently he just found it. I mean, was there 72 of them? It's like a Dogra. You call it like a Dogra core. It's like a little gem of Dogramag. I don't know why they didn't say Lacrima, but essentially Dogramag, when he was expanding out his labyrinth, he was hiding these gems, like these crystals, these cores, all around it, spreading them out, and they were making him pretty much stronger in the process. And on top of that, he's hiding them all throughout it to make it more difficult to find. Like he's a much smarter version of Alderaan in that sense. It's like Alderaan sent his god seeds at him, and I get like logically why, like, you know, he did not foresee them being able to defeat him. This is one of those things, but also he can regrow his god seeds, so I think that is a factor. He probably just was like, yeah, even if they're defeated, you know, they can just come back up. And we know that he already had that mindset once before when had them all down, and he was just like, well, soon they'll just revive. So it's like it's a weakness, but at the same time, it's like a temporary weakness that like somebody has to find the opening and the power to actually really do. What happened in the official translation? We don't have an official translation. We have the fan translation. We don't have an official like simulcast translation yet. The only time you can get the officials for 100 Years Quest would be when you get like the volumes, whenever the volumes come out. Sometimes the officials though, sometimes they miss like stuff with like, well, what is it? Some of the wording in Drasil, like saying how it was like a one billionth of what Natsu did to like Alderaan when he used his demolition fist, when it was supposed to be 99,999,999. It's just like that extra zero says a lot, because it's, you know, times 10 of what it is, goes up to a crazier standard. So let me just check. Is the music too loud? I don't think so. No. Dogermag turn into Earth in this chapter? He didn't turn into Earth. He's just doing Earth stuff. Like, he's manipulating the Earth. He's got, like, his Lacrima... This dude, apparently not Lacrima. He's got, like, these gemstones, like the Dogra cores, and he's scattered them throughout the labyrinth, making it harder, obviously, for them to find, but also just making it so it's, like, his influence is over a wider spread area. I wonder exactly how that works, like, in terms of AoE. And they're like saying how he's absorbed some. I wonder how that works. Like, if he gets another, is he going to get stronger? Like, if he gets another one and it goes into his body, is he going to become more powerful in the process? I'm trying to see where I got to go to my stream, because I want to edit the thumbnail so it's got the right thumbnail that I made. Let me see. There we go. And then I will just, I'll put in the shit as I'm doing it. Bam. No, it does not include paid promotion. One day I'm going to get, who would I even want to do a paid promotion for? Ooh, well, I was going to say like Taco Bell, but it's like there's no shot that Taco Bell would do that. Well, I would have to figure out like something that would logically make sense. It would just be some random loot box thing where it's like you buy shit, you get like a t-shirt and whatever. I feel like that's the only likely thing. But, oh. But for now, I definitely want to see like more named techniques. That's one thing I was not expecting in the chapter, because it's one of those things where once they get high enough, they don't seem to really name attacks for the most part. It just seems to be, you know, doing whatever you want, whenever you want kind of things. And then some attacks are named. Like, even Selene having named attacks. And Alderaan's Forest of Swords. Like, it's not Wood Dragon God's Forest of Swords. And, you know, it's not Moon Dragon God's Butterfly Scream. It's just straight what they are. Whereas Dogramag is just like, Earth Dragon God's attack. I like that a lot. I like that because it gives them a little bit of flavor to him. It makes me feel like he and Ignia want to fight in these human forms. I imagine maybe for them, it's probably a bit more fun to, fight in a more mobile form. Because, like, with the dragon, like, you're still able to do stuff. And I imagine, like, in reality, even though a dragon's big, like, it's not going to be slow in terms of its motions. It's not going to be like when you see kaiju and stuff fighting, like, in a show, and they're moving at, like, speeds that look slow to them. Even though, obviously, they're moving fast. But for them, I feel like they would just be moving at high speeds, like, even for, like, just viewing. But it's still, like, they can only do so much with, a large dragon-like body. Especially Dogermag, too. He's a bit thick. So, a humanoid form where he's more mobile, more nimble, I imagine it probably is more enjoyable for him to battle. So maybe that's what he's doing, and he's trying to, like, not emulating how the Dragon Slayers name their attacks, but he's like, I like your style, so I'm gonna try and get some of that flavor text and just put it over here. Maybe Dogermag without his balls is weakest of the 5, but with his balls he's in the top 2. My guess is he's pretty much set up like a cheat to get as strong as the other dragon gods, but once that's down, he'll be at his normal strength, or he is at his full strength in his human form, and you have to destroy the lacrima to make his like human form as strong as it should be, and that's going to force him to go into his dragon form. Like, imagine it's like, because we know that there's a large gap between human form and dragon form for them, but like, maybe the thing with the Doger cores is it's like a cheat, so he is kind of like how Alderaan with all his god seeds up his god seed is as strong as his normal form. His is a little different because he's not using transformation magic where the other guys are. Selene, Ignia, Dogramag, Mercephobia, they're all transforming. They're all using magic to turn into a humanoid form, whereas Alderaan just had like a minion that was pretty much his brain in it. Like, he had an embodiment of himself. Dragon God Moto. I mean, pretty much. I don't read name of any attack. For me, it's just random bullshit. I don't think that's the case. Like it's not just like, yeah, I'm just throwing random. He's not just pulling like, yeah, this is a magic rock that it glows in the dark. I'm gonna throw this at you just to blind you. Actually, that'd be kind of cool. But at the same time, it's like he's just doing earthly attacks. I don't know why you wouldn't read named attack. Named attacks are cool. I am a big fan of when characters like put the effort into it, because also it gives you a little bit of a tell of how they think if they're gonna give it some strange name. Like, what exactly are these characters gonna go by? What exactly their name is going to be related to how they think. I just saw a thing. It's like, apparently Elmo got a COVID test. Why? What are they doing? I don't know. I get sometimes when the people who do like shows like these like try and do something in the modern era, but it's like sometimes they do it a little bit too weird. Nobody needs to know about Elmo and COVID. Soon Diablos might ally with Team Natsu if this arc is over. Maybe. I mean, Selene is in a spot, like I've said, where she's not evil. It's just like we don't know like the more actual like specific details about her past and whatnot. We don't know more of the in-depth stuff of her character. We've been given hints and aspects of it, but we don't have like outright flashbacks and lore. But we have been shown consistently Selene isn't evil. She's just somebody with so much power and, a personality that just makes it problematic. Like, Mercephobia, had the same power, but she just didn't really want to do anything bad with it. So it's like he's not really causing any trouble for the most part. He's helping people. But you look at, like, Alderaan just wanted to, pretty much cause genocide and eat humans. Selene just wants to enjoy herself, and that can be beneficial to the people around her, or it can be detrimental to the people around her. Gotcha would be a great match for Dogermag. I think it's like people have been saying that, but it's like rock and metal. It's not really going to be the same thing. But his is earth, so maybe you can kind of tie that a little bit. But I think Gajul's is going to be more when we get to Viernes, just because gold. I think gold will make more sense, and we can get like black gold Gajul or something sick. I love it when characters have really strong attacks and cool names. Yeah, I'm a fan. I gotta figure out what the hell Zekitora is, because I don't know what that possibly means. I looked up some stuff. I wonder if it's maybe the fan translations. it's one of those cases where maybe they didn't know how to translate it either, so they like put it in there and it came out looking a little weird. Maybe that's the only thing I can think of, because otherwise, like, what exactly is it supposed to mean? What is a Katora? Why is it Z? Like, is it Zekatora, Zekatora? It's just got such a weird like setup and name that like I don't really know exactly like how it's supposed to make sense with pretty much with everything else. Like, it's a little strange, like I said. But yeah, Godjill, like I feel like logically, like I know that there's gonna be some people saying like, copium and shit. I feel like logically now we could have stuff like Gray and Scullion fights and Madmul and Godjill, because now there's a reason why they would run into each other with like the Dark Dragon Slayer Knights. It made sense to focus on them, put more emphasis on their fights, them kind of active and stuff like. Though I wish that they didn't have the unfortunate luck of running Laxus. It made sense of why Scullion and Madmul would get clapped up by Laxus. But now we're in a spot where it's like, okay, Kieran already has his fascination with Laxus. They could have round 3. Misaki could have a rematch. I don't know about Kyria and Lucy. I don't know if that's going to happen again. Like, that one, I would prefer if that match, instead of it being those two fighting again, if they teamed up. Like, if there was some large golem of Dogermag's creation. Because we saw Kyria already was having trouble with it. It'd be cool if her and Lucy, like, teamed up. And then, like, Haku and Wendy, I think, would also have to be, like, a team-up one. I don't think that they would logically fight like that again. Like, unless Haku, like, wanted to fight seriously, I don't really see us getting a Wendy-Haku fight again. Whereas with the other, the other members, Suzaku's obviously out of the game. We have Scullion, Madmul, and, Kirin, Misaki. I think those 4, because that's only 4 fights, logically you could set up for, adversaries to go against, the main cast while they're trying to get to these Lacrima, or Doger cores, rather. And you could easily have it as like, oh, well, some of them just want to fight because, they see them as enemies, they're teaming up with Selene, maybe this is their chance. Because I think it would make a lot of sense for them to see a wounded Selene and want to go after her in revenge of Georg. Because we don't know exactly, like, how angry some of them were about, like, Georg, but I would imagine that there's still, like, some salt there. Especially Kirin, because Kirin's known him since he was a child. Selene is weird. One time she say, Alderaan destroy the world. The other time it's Dragonair is done. I mean, it's how, like, you gotta keep in mind, Selene, think of it like this. You have somebody who they want to do things they find fun and entertaining. And sometimes that dips into, like, aggressively wild, like, destruction or world-changing events. Now give the person the power to do that. Like, that's the thing about Selene. Selene isn't evil that makes her problematic. She's problematic because she has a personality where she just will decide to do something and no one can really stop her. And again, think of like how she brought Godjill and Laxus into this arc. She just teleported them there. They have absolutely zero way of saying like, no, I don't want to go, or fighting back. It's just like, she just says, nope, you have no say. Points at them, brings them there. Like, she's a character like if she was like, oh yeah, I want to bring about, I want to solve world hunger. She just decides to put her mind to it. She could, because she has the power to do it. She has the capabilities to pretty much force everyone to kind of like play into how she wants. And in cases like, oh, she wants to let out Alderaan. She's like, if she just sat around and be like, it'd be a fun idea. I'm going to have Alderaan wake up and just cause havoc and chaos and just watch. There's nothing stopping her from doing it. She doesn't like, well, the whatever complications, whatever kind of like variables in there that might make it so it can't happen. That's not going to happen for her. Like, she can do that. And that's like the dangerous thing about Selene. Everyone had their battle besides Godjill and Gray. I think that's going to happen soon. Like, obviously, like, I can't predict the future, like, on point. Like, it's only more of estimations. But I think now would be a more logical time to have their fights. And it be in a way that we already had spotlight and focus on, like, the people who were fighting against the Dark Dragon Slayer Knights. But now I think we could definitely have a point of Scullion and Madmul fighting Godjill and Gray. Because, like, if it was reversed, think about it like this. And this is at least something you can look at and be like, yeah, I guess, sort of. Is if they didn't do anything up until this point, the question would be like, where have these guys been? Whereas like they got stomped by Laxus, got beaten down, and they were out of commission for a bit. So now they could come back, join the fight, have their matches. If you reverse that and you had the Godjill and Gray fights earlier, it's like I feel like they could only team up here now, and they couldn't have the a later on fight. And I think it would make sense of why they would look at an opportunity to avenge Georg now because Selene's hurt, and that could lead to the fights rather than them to, Selene being hurt, injured, and them just kind of being like, yeah, we're going to team up kind of thing. I think it makes a lot of sense, potentially. We haven't gotten there yet, but we'll see. Let me see what else is there. Selene should bring Mira and others to help. I mean, I guess, but I mean, I don't think she'd bring Mira and them. I think if anybody she's going to kind of bring along, it would have to be people like Sting, Rogue, Guildarts, Jalal, like big people. Because like Mirajane, I mean, Mirajane's not weak, but I mean, Mirajane isn't beating any member of Diablos here. I don't know if she's gonna really do anything against any of like the Dogramag minions. Like, she's just gonna get outclassed. Like Mirajane, what Mirajane needs isn't I'm gonna be in the arc. Mirajane needs to be like, we need to have like a short time skip. And then it'd be like, oh yeah, these last couple months I've been going ape shit into training, developing new forms and new abilities, like really putting in the effort to get my level up versus, I guess, just kind of like in general just kind of be there. Like she needs to have some form of large jump in order for her character to really kind of like make up the area of where she's fallen behind. Because she has fallen behind. Like, factually, she has fallen behind a lot of the other characters, and she needs a lot to cover that gap and to get back there. If not, like, I don't really know what her plan would be, and especially like I don't really know what the plan would be for her character to really pull out some relevancy, I guess. Like, she doesn't really have like a opportunity to have like a new form or boost without it literally being like, inventing a new one. I think if she combined her Satan Soul forms, she could invent a higher end version that would be relevant. But other than that, I don't know how she's going to get a new one. Because like she could pull out something like Bloodman or Larcade as a Satan Soul. The only thing that I'd wonder about that is like we don't have confirmation for any of her Etheria's Satan Souls, is like if the souls still exist. Like, if those still are within her possession, or if they faded out when Zeref went. Similar to Dogermag, they destroy those gemstones for Dogermag. Well, the thing is, like, the difference is, Alderaan got to a power point where he had to have those to keep them stable, whereas Dogermag just seemed to have this as a strategy. He's just being smart, which I like. He just said, yeah, I'm going to expand my labyrinth, I'm going to spread all these out, they're going to make me more powerful, and in the process, it's going to cover the gap that he had as the weakest dragon god, which I actually think was really smart. I'm hoping we get some form of information on him, like, doing it, like him talking about it. Like, if he just says, like, oh yeah, I talked to Alderaan at some point, like maybe he knew Alderaan, and it's something that wood dragons could do. Because like imagine it's like wood dragons do that regularly, like this whole thing of the god seeds. Not the same thing exactly, but they eventually make like a minion like that, and it's like, oh yeah, maybe he knew Alderaan, because Alderaan didn't go to sleep, like he didn't get injured until 300 years in the past. Dogermag died, a little over 100 years in the past. So you could easily have a point before then of where they met. Maybe he knew a little bit about the way wood dragons work, and he's like, I have an idea of how to take that but make it better. And it'd be such a nice plus to his character if we were shown like he's just like that he's taking ideas and improving them. He's just like, that's a good idea, but you know how I can make it 10 times better? And instead of 5, it's 72, and they're all spread in a labyrinth. Selene is obviously going to be able to kind of cheat some, but the thing is, like, I don't really know like how it's going to otherwise be anything for a plot piece if there's not an opposing force like pushing back against them. Because I could see, oh yeah, they're just they're destroying some, they're kind of putting up the effort, and then like maybe the members of the Diablos will join in. Because like I could see some aiding them, but I legitimately think some of them would turn against them. And I'm trying to think of like, because like one thing like the big things about Diablos and 5th gen is Dragon Force, and obviously like theirs is different. They can't just use it all the time. They can't just use it whenever they want. It's a dangerous technique. It's like an all-in thing. It's like like I said, it's like the Endura from Seven Deadly Sins. Easy example. The only ones now, I mean, maybe I could see Misaki or Kieran do it, because Kieran might be a little crazier than we thought, and then Misaki might just be a little bit more petty and mad than we thought. Imagine Selene bring Agil and Jacob to help. That'd be really weird. I mean, like, I wouldn't be too mad at it, but I mean, like, I'd rather her bring, like, Sting or Rogue, because it would make more sense to grab 2 Dragon Slayers, because that's more people to fight against a dragon. I'd prefer Agil have a cool opponent. Dogermag or Viernes. Don't hate on Madmol. Madmol's a funny dude. I like his design. I wish Madmol had more content, because like he really only has like the bits at the beginning, and then like he's got like a feat against Elfman, and that's pretty much it. I like him. I wish we would get more stuff for him. I think he's a neat character, but I mean like he's not a bad character. He's not like a complete clown, and on top of that, like he actually has feats that look good. And him in a Gajil fight, I think would be really cool. It's just like this battle of like these, just like a slugfest, just like heavy hitting. You're seeing these 2 extremely durable dudes just bash fists into each other and trying to damage each other. I'm curious what if Selene chose to stop Aknogian's there from the Alvarez arc. She wouldn't have been able to do anything. Aknogian would have killed her. Without her and Selene admit she would have taken Dogramag. Well, no, she says that she would have. She would go to deal with them herself. She doesn't straight like say like if I wasn't wounded, I'd be able to like just casually run through him. Let me look for the exact thing she says, just to kind of go about it. She says, if it were not for these wounds, I would face them myself. I mean, she would definitely win. Like with the Doger cores, I feel like even if like full power like buffed up with all these Doger cores, I still think Selene would be fun, because Selene could literally just teleport to one, destroy one, and Dogermag would have to just pretty much like go after her and try and prevent her from doing it. The ones in his body, I'm very curious about, like, how's it going to work? Because it's like, it gives me the idea that he can absorb more and become more powerful. Let me see. It would be good to see Natsu Gray, Suzaku, wait, you said Gray twice, versus Dogermag. Well, I think eventually it's pretty much going to be everybody there against Dogermag. Kyria just chilled, defeated like 3 chapters. I mean, Kyria doesn't have time for this. She's just like... I would assume that if Kyria met up with Lucian, I don't think it would be a really hostile response. I think she would be more of like a kind of like an angry rival kind of thing. I don't think she would be as pissed off with Lucy, because Lucy did show that she's stronger than what Kyria thought. Selene, wait, or this one. Since it counts as full power, Diablo's revealing Dragon Force. I think we could get maybe 1 or 2. I don't think we're just going to get them all just dropping Dragon Force. To me, Lucy versus Kyria was more balanced match. I mean, yeah, it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a really set, balanced match. It wasn't the same as like, like Kieran and... I mean, Kieran and Laxus was somewhat balanced. Like, there was an obvious edge by a good chunk. But like, Urza versus Misaki was clear. Like, Urza was weaker, but like, she had more skill and technique. And then Misaki just kept underestimating her and getting frustrated over it. But Selene helped the plot without they're all dead. I mean, they're going to be running around trying to figure out what to do, because otherwise, like, they wouldn't know anything about, like, this. Selene's just, she's putting in the knowledge. Think Cobra will have a fight in 100 Years quest? I mean, maybe. I mean, like, it would... The thing is, like, you can't... It's hard to really kind of gauge stuff when it comes to Selene, and I've said this before, because with other characters, you can look at it and it's... Oh, shit. I was like, I reached into my pocket. I was like, I put on some shorts that like I hadn't worn in a while, and I had a fairy tale mask, so I had 2 for like COVID times, and I lost the nicer one, and then like I kept wearing the second one that was all like damaged, and then I just found the nice one that I lost like a year ago. Sweet. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with it, considering nobody wears masks pretty much for the most part anymore. But I have it, I guess. I guess it's just a memento of over the COVID era. Selene has the best, worst dragon gods? Wait, what? I don't know what that... Has the best, worst dragons. I don't even know what that means. I wonder why Urza isn't a dragon slayer, even though she's a child of the Queen of Dragon Slayers. We all know the Dragon Force in the future arc slaying her mother. Here's the thing. Urza was already, already being... I guess what, in utero or fetus or whatever. Irene was already pregnant with Urza before she became a dragon, and like we don't know like at what point, if ever, a dragon slayer's DNA will carry on to a child or like their child. Maybe it's just because she was already pregnant. We can look at it like that. Like say like maybe like if Irene, we can say like Irene. I guess maybe more closer to Elefsaria or somebody's, or of Acnologia, or like Irene if Irene decided to have another kid afterwards, like post dragon transformation, maybe we would be able to see somebody with dragon DNA. Because I would assume it would depend on how much is involved. Like, are they just kind of part way in where they have the dragon eyes and motion sickness, or do they have permanent scales in their skin? Don't hate on Jalal. Jalal's cool. I watched Avatar, so I know there is an Earth is metal. Well, the thing is, like, yeah, because metal comes from the Earth. Like, it's a mineral. It's not the same as, like, you're using rock. It's Earth. Earth involves everything in the Earth. But I was saying, like, I think it would make more sense to do it with Viernes, because Viernes is outright just metal. Urza beat Jalal. I see it. I don't think so. I think Jalal is just too smart of a fighter, and he's got a way bigger arsenal and way more versatile type of magic. Happy and Selene talking. The Happy and Selene interactions have been really funny. I've liked them a lot. Like, that's been, well, there's only been a handful, but still, I'm expecting more in the future. That's something I really want to see while Selene recovers. And hopefully we'll see freaking Haku, hopefully we'll see Haku maybe, like, join in, like I said, and Wendy heal him, or not heal him, but heal Selene up, fix Selene and get her back on her feet. Well, I guess she's already on her feet, but healed up enough that she can actually, like, really participate and kind of go about doing stuff. Actually, I'm looking at the chapter. I think there's is this an art issue? Hold on. Where's Haku? I just noticed that. Where is Haku? I don't see him anywhere, because wasn't Gajo carrying him before? Hang on. I actually want to go back and look at some of these chapters real fast. Because Haku was there. I know they didn't take Kiria. They didn't take Misaki, but didn't they have Haku? I'm gonna go back a couple chapters. Let me see. I'm gonna go all the way back to like 103. I'll see for like Lucy's as well, because I'm pretty sure they just left Kiria, didn't they? Or did they take Kiria along? Let me see. Let me just go to the chapter real quick. All right, we got Kiria defeated. I don't know why I went to 103, not 104. Considering 103 it ends with her winning. Alright, one second. Let me find this out. I'm actually really curious. It's like if it's just an art issue or they just ditched Haku at some point. Yeah, I don't think they took Kiria. That was one thing I completely forgot, because I like once they had Kiria, I thought Kiria would be with the group at some point. Like they would be like, yeah, let's take her with us. But I mean, it makes sense of why they wouldn't. If the whole place was collapsing and like gonna get destroyed, I would understand why they would want to take him or want to take her. But like otherwise, it's just like, we're not gonna take this chick with us. Okay, let me see. I think 106, is that where we see Haku, and then like he wakes up for a second, Gajo punches him, and he passes back out. I think it was that chapter, because that's when Wendy and them group back up, right? Mirror versus Cobra and Rogue. Oh, I got Cobra and Rogue. Like Cobra's Cobra's got better feats, and he sits way higher. Yeah, Panther Lily has Haku. So let me go to the chapter. Let me see something real quick. Did they just leave Haku there or something? Because he jumps onto Wendy, Gajo punches him, he passes out, and then I think we don't see him again. I don't think we see him again. Hang on, I actually want to check this, because like I didn't notice this until just now. Of like I was thinking like where the fuck, where is he? Did this leave Haku behind? They just said, yeah, we don't really have time for this dude. He's a little, he's a little bit too strange. I mean, alright. I mean, Haku, for the most part, it's only, like, strangeness. He's got a crush on Wendy, but still. He's an adversary, but, I mean, he's not a bad guy. I mean, did Panther Lily have him in this chapter? No, because Panther Lily's small. So, did they just leave Haku somewhere? Haku's just going to be on the floor. I wonder if this is, like, intentional, or if it's just, like, one of those times where they forget and they mess up in, like, an art scene. A character doesn't have the right outfit, or like, that's a character's not where he's supposed to be, or some shit. I'd like if Madmo would become crazy, seeing as he had his revenge on Selene, and maybe his dragonification. That would be That'd be really weird. Like, that would be really surprising if he just turned all of a sudden. Because he seems like a chill dude. He seems like not so bad. He seems to be pretty much like... I mean, he just seems to be like a member of his guild. He's not like a super hostile. He seems pretty friendly. He's polite. I don't think that he's going to just kind of go crazy. Or is it, I'm not going to read that. I don't need the same comments that I can literally just say, like, yeah, how's it been the narrative-wise? What about the feats? What about, like, the consistent abilities? Like, Jalal has, if not the best shown moveset of the series. How would Carla feel about Haku having a thing for Wendy? I think she would probably be kind of, like, weirded out, and it'd be one of those things where she's probably going to be, like, a little bit protective and be like, I don't think you should talk to that guy. He's weird. Kind of like how she was with Mest, where it's just like, you know, her friend is trying to be like, yeah, stay away from this dude. There's something strange about him. Whereas, like, Haku isn't evil. Haku's just a little weird. She might be a little annoyed by him, though. I think that would probably be, like, the biggest thing, is she'd probably just try to find him pretty annoying. They could have left Kieran, bring her home. Oh, Kiria. I mean, Kiria just passed out somewhere in the labyrinth. But I think maybe that's going to be one of the things Mishima's going to kind of play on, is at some point they're just going to appear, like they're MIA, we don't really know the status of them. And then at some point they're going to kind of just appear into the scene. I think it would be really cool if we got like a mix of that. Like I said, some of them are enemies, some of them want to fight against, some of them want to help. I think that'd be really cool. I think Kiria and Lucy, I think would be really cool to see as like a group up. Same thing with Haku and Wendy. And then the rest we could have as like a battle. And the only ones I could think of that'd be like mad would be Misaki. I don't think, it's just my guess, I don't think Kieran, if you know he showed up to fight Laxkid, I don't think he'd be enraged. I think he would probably be excited and maybe he'd be really wanting to fight. Whereas I think Misaki would be pissed off. I think she'd be mad and crabby that she ended up losing, and hopefully actually like put in the effort this time and more respect towards her opponent. I don't hate Mirajane. It's just Mirajane fell off in terms of power in comparison to the other characters. Like, she's still relevant in like the overall story. Like, she still can fight some characters, but you can't put her in scenarios against like people like Scoleon, or I mean pretty much Scoleon and up. Which Scoleon is, I mean, he's not the weakest in his guild, but he's like, I mean, he's close to the middle. There's only a handful of people I'd say below him, like Mad Mole, Kiria, Wraith, Nibaru. That's pretty much it. Whereas it's like the only people really above him are what, like the Dark Dragon Slayer Knights and Georg. And that's pretty much all I can really see of them. Imagine if Jalal team had been useless in Alvarez arc. Missions to kill Zareth, didn't even meet him. Oh, they were busy. Like, here's the thing: if your aim is go for the biggest guy and you're not accounting for somebody like August, like, you're gonna be in for some rough time, because like defeating Zareth obviously is part of it, but it's like you had the, I feel like Jalal just didn't know. I feel like Jalal just wouldn't have known about people like August until it was like close to that point in time to actually go up against him, just because like I feel like if he knew, he would have really kind of planned a million times like more on it, because August is a problem by himself. Zareth is different, because like Zareth isn't gonna like fight at like crazy full power or like really kind of like flex hacks every 5 seconds, because like some of like there are degrees of him where he just doesn't really care to put in the effort because he can't die, and he knows obviously who's stronger. Whereas August seemed to, for a lot of ways, just seemed to be like a no nonsense kind of guy. He just wanted to kind of cut to the chase and really just kind of like put stuff in. It wasn't until like the whole part with like Kana and Gildarts where he's just like there was something that obviously interested him in, you know, in messing around a little bit, trying to kind of like enjoy himself, trying to have a little bit more of a personality flex in the middle of a fight. Whereas like everybody else, he just seemed to be like, yeah, I don't have time for you, I don't have time for this, and you know, just kind of run through it. He's like, I got work, I got a job to do. Mira has more transformations and moves than Cobra. I mean, Cobra doesn't really have a transformation. But I mean, like, Mirajane, obviously, like, transformations are a thing. I know, like, Misaki or someone else would find Haku and slap simping out of him. I keep saying, like, I don't really know if Haku, I don't know if it counts for simping, because, like, Haku is not, like, he's not, like, 20-something and going after some girl that he's, like, never met online or something. Like, he's like, what, like, 13? Like, he's a kid, and he just has a crush on a girl. Like, I don't think, like, his is the same thing. But I will say, like, he needs to settle down. Like, it's not going to help him in terms of like, trying to court Wendy if he's, like, overly obsessed about her. I don't think that's gonna go well for him. Misaki, though, I don't think Misaki would, like, if she just met up with him, I don't think she would really try to help. I think she'd be really crabby about it. I think she would just be pissed off that she lost to Urza, pissed off that she got caught, and then pissed off that, like, Urza was starting to, like, mess with her dimension near the end. But, I mean, ultimately, that's all in Misaki's fault. And like I've said, Misaki can recover. She can recover from this, but it's like, one, I don't know if she will, because I don't know if Mishima wants to do anything like that with her character. It's going to depend. But other than that, I feel like she's going to just be angrier, and like she's going to be one of those characters who just, like, her frustration keeps eating at her and, like, getting the better of her. And I feel like that's just the way that things are going to go for her. Charlotte team at one shot by August. I mean, yeah, August. Yeah, like August is a character that I felt like had to go. As like, I liked August, obviously, like, cool stuff in his backstory, like design, OP magic, but he wasn't a character you could really keep around for that long, because either he, like, the only ways you can really have him in fights are fights where either he's going to clap people or he's going to get clapped. I don't think there are many in-betweens for him, because he's just so broken. Whereas, like, Irene is OP, but Irene's magic is just not nearly as... It's not nearly as difficult to just deal with one-for-one as August. Like, August just says, nope, copies, becomes immune, can use it to his level, has all these other magics he can throw at you. You know, he's got, like, 80 years of experience. He's just going to be a terror. Whereas, like, Irene's magic is really good. It's really flexible, and it's got a lot of level of utilities in general, just ways that you can use it. But it's not nearly as much of a difficulty wall as instantaneous learning copy magic. Like, it's just busted. It's just a dangerous thing to really kind of deal with in general. But yeah, like, I didn't notice that Haku got left behind. So, like, they just left him on the floor. They said, yeah, we don't really have time to help you. One thing that I thought was really interesting, that, like, it wasn't set in this chapter, but maybe it's going to be something kind of like we had, like, this little bit of focus to set up for later, is like when Selene is explaining, you know, there are 70, you know, she's like, oh, there's 71 other Doger cores, you know, I need your help, you know, all that stuff, and they're kind of just going and explaining it. When other characters are questioning her, Urza just says, like, you know, we will help you, which makes me think that, like, Urza is going to get some spotlight coming up, considering, like, you know, obviously if this is a little bit of a focus on Urza, maybe that's going to end up being just, like, a little bit of foreshadowing to the show that she's going to have something up and coming. Wendy, though, really needs to heal some people. Like, Wendy needs to take a minute, take in some air, get some magic back, and heal some people. Really kind of heal up Urza. Urza's in the worst, because, like, Laxus is damaged, but Laxus was still standing. Gray's pretty much fine. Godjil's, like, perfectly fine. He's got, like, 2 scrapes. He's got, like, pretty much nothing. And like, Wendy's pretty much okay. Urza's the only one really that fine. Lucy actually looks pretty much fine too as well. Like, she's damaged, but she's not, like, at a point where it's going to be too difficult for her to continue. Urza versus Saber. I don't know anything about Saber though. Like, I don't watch the Fate series. I prefer literally any other person to fight Larcade instead of Sting. I don't like the 3rd gen. You don't like 3rd gen? 3rd gen's fine. Miriam fighting Larcade, she gets defeats and others, and after that get a new form. That'd be a big jump for Mirajane. Like, Mirajane, like, at her most was against what? The minions of Irene. Like, to go up to Larcade would be pretty crazy. I think it was better to give it to Sting and Rogue, just because, like, Mirajane already had stuff going on, and it's easier to give her a scene than Sting and Rogue. Because, like, think about this, like, Sting and Rogue already got their spinoff, but if it didn't exist, and if I was gonna guess which one is more likely to get a spinoff, I think it'd be maybe not more likely. Which one would be easier to do? Kind of give more general, like, lore and benefit. It would definitely be Mirajane. Like I've said, like, you can give a Strauss sibling spinoff and do a bunch of cool stuff with it. Maybe give origins to Devil Slaying magic or something. Are you playing Misaki with her Rage and Urza could turn crazy and use Dragification? I think that she could. I think logically she could get to a point where she's so frustrated that she could do it. I think she gets so frustrated she just, fuck this, I'm going all in. Also, just real quick, because I haven't yet, I really appreciate it, you guys. If you know, we got what 15, 16 people here. If you could thumbs up the stream, you know, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. And if you feel like donating anything, even $1 is much appreciated. There's also a channel member you can join. It's only like a $1 and $2 a month. It's like what, like 3 to 6 cents a day. If you feel like just throwing some change my way, it does help. I would appreciate it, but it's not required. Anyway, I just gotta do my shill every once in a while. Every once in a while, I gotta put out my my spiel, my ad. I really I was gonna get the I was gonna get a new editing program, but it was like $8 a month, but I think it wants it all in full or something. It was like $8 or $10 a month, and it wants it like a whole year in advance. So I'm gonna get it, but I'm like, I wanted to get it yesterday, but it's like I don't want to just throw like whatever, like $100-something just to test it out. I'll give it a little bit of a try later. I probably will. I'll probably see if there's a free version and then try it out, and then do that. And use 100 Years Quest and use zero. I haven't heard anything about either, man. I haven't heard anything. Mirajane's best feat was beating Suppressed Jacob. I don't really know how much I count that one because like Jacob was nerfing himself, so like he wasn't doing any of his crazy hacks. I'd say Mirajane's best legitimate feat was beating beating Juliet, and I always forget to pronounce it. Haynes. Just beating them because it's like it's an outright straight W feat. Like it's not like she's beating somebody who's weakening himself or whatever. Lancelot versus Kawaki. I mean, because doesn't Kawaki have like actual feats and Lancelot has like one feat? He's just got the stuff with fittage. Haku's basically Juvia to Wendy. Not necessarily. Like again, two things. Juvia's an outright stalker. She is an outright stalker. We've seen stuff like in her room. She's got stuff of like literally she's got blankets and posters and plushies and stuff all designed after Grey. She has an obsession. She's also like what, like 20 something? Haku's like 14. Like he's a kid. He just has a crush on a girl. We haven't seen any absurd levels of obsession like we have with Juvia. Some people throw around the whole like simping thing a little bit too loosely. Like I get it, but like a character liking another character doesn't make them a simp. But Juvia definitely simps for Grey. You can look and be like, yeah, that's the level of what I would qualify as simp. Or like Escanor with Merlin. Like when you get to characters like that, and it's like even if it's like obvious they're not gonna get anywhere with them, or they're grown adults, it's just like, damn man, what are you doing? I don't like Urza as a character. I don't like Urza as a character. He ruined Jalal's character. I don't even know what that possibly means. Wraith versus Skullion. Thing is, like, we know that like you have to have like a way of harming like a ghost to hit Wraith, but I feel like as a corpse dragon that Skullion could logically have a way to do that, right? I feel like that would make sense. Like if his whole stuff works with ashes and bone and has to do with corpses and the dead, that he could logically do something like that. I will say, like, man, I really hope that if we do get that Grey Skullion fight, I would assume that if we do get the Grey Skullion fight, that's going to be Skullion's biggest fight. Like maybe we'll get some scenes where he's doing stuff later, and maybe even another fight. I don't know, but I would hope that if we do get that, it's like his all-in fight, the best one we're going to get from him, and we get stuff like just some really cool techniques. I want to see some, like, if he's doing, like, corpse dragon slayer magic, maybe he raises some skeletons or something badass. Like, just something really intense like that, just to kind of really, like, demonstrate the level of kind of, like, power that we, that he has that we haven't seen. Because, and realistically, we haven't seen anything crazy from him. Skullion's only used, like, a few moves. And, like, Black Ash and Absolute Ash are not the same thing, but they are essentially the same thing. Like, it's kind of like Doom's abilities, where it's like they have the same ultimate effect, but they're just different implementations. And it seems also Black Ash is faster. It seems Black Ash is just like this massive, like, frontal kind of like AoE. I was trying to think of like, hallway. I was going to say cone, but it's not a cone. I guess frontal cylinder. Frontal pathway of just turning stuff into ash, Because, like, I don't think he has anything else. Like, he's got Absolute Ash and he's got Black Ash, right? Let me go look at Skullion Raider. I think he's just the 2 techniques, right? He's got because he used them both against Gray. I don't think he used any named. He didn't use any named techs with Mirajane, and he didn't use any against Knots or anything. Yeah, Utter Ash. I guess Utter Ash, not Absolute Ash, and Black Ash. And I guess you count Dragon Force, he should have it, but still, I don't really know if I count that. Hang on a second. Urza resistance is next level? I guess. I guess so. I don't know what you're talking about with that one. Jal versus Zareth? I mean, Zareth, like, come on. Yeah, simping is like degenerating yourself to a person. Thing is like, just in general, Monspiet to Derriere. Oh, like, it didn't Derriere and Mons. Well, no, because Derriere, or, Monspiet, like, didn't he know Derriere's sister, and there was something like with that, and he was like pretty much protecting her because of like something that he had with her sister, right? Wasn't it? I remember something like that. I haven't read those chapters in a while. But let me see. Monspeed, 7 out of 6. Let me look at this up real quick. Let me see if on the wiki it has like a TLDR of it, of like the relationship between the two. Because I remember something like that. Like it had something to do with like the past with his sister. I don't remember. I might be wrong on that one. Maybe he just really had a thing for her. But it's like he didn't really do anything crazy with her. And still, I mean, like, I guess Juvia's is kind of not simping, because, well, I guess it was, but I guess it's successful simping. Whereas, like, when we get to Haku, like, Haku doesn't have a degree that looks, I'm trying to think of, like, how to word it. One, I think that the fact he's a young kid is definitely, like, it takes points off it. But I think once we get to a point where it's like there's no shot that he's ever gonna make it with Wendy, then it's like, yeah, you gotta stop at this point. It's like Leon with Juvia. It's like that was never gonna happen. That was never gonna happen. What's up, Happy the Assassin? How are you doing? Oh no, if Jalal tried to fight Zareth, like he would absolutely lose. Let's not pretend on that. I already answered Lancelot versus Kawaki. Like Lancelot doesn't have the feats. Derriere's sister had a crush on Monspiet, and he had it on Derriere. Oh, is that it? I just don't remember a whole lot. I just remember like them. Like there was obviously something to do with the sister, and I remember the sister died in during that, was it Omega arc or whatever, the massive arc that like messed with a bunch of the demons. Something along those lines. I'm trying to think if there's anything in the chapter that had any general kind of like low-key build-up in terms of like stuff for later, because most of it was fight. Like what is it? Like half the chapter I think was just the battle, which I'm pretty fine with. I mean, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, it's like up to like 16, and then Selene leaves and goes and joins like the other members of the crew. I think it's funny that she took Happy with her though. Maybe she knew that bringing Happy would be good to kind of like get the other members of the Fairy Tail Guild to trust her. But I think the only thing other than that we got a little bit of like hinting towards in this chapter was the whole bit with Urza saying that she was going to help her. Because it was like, specifically Urza. Like, this is where Urza woke up. I think it would make sense for Urza to want to, but I think Urza needs to have a reason to kind of just outright believe her, unless, like, Happy's enough. But I mean, it's like saving Natsu would also be on her list of what she would want to do. Dara's sister died to Lucio Del racism. Yeah, we hated the goddess clan and the demon clan did not like each other. Haku's a year or two younger than Wendy. I mean, yeah, he's like a kid. So it's like, I don't like people make all the like hateful like simp stuff with him. It's like I don't mind it that much, just because like he is like, he's a child. He's not like a grown adult simping for somebody that like they can't just get the hint that like it's never gonna happen. Because it's like, look at like Escanor and Merlin, and like the most he got that kiss at the end. But I mean, that's I don't know if that's enough. He's like a grown man, and here he is like obsessing and then trying really hard for this girl that like he's getting nowhere with. That's closer to what I'd say like the whole simping thing is. And obviously early series Juvia, despite whatever Gray said, she was still trying. So somebody like Haku, I wouldn't put him in the same category. He's like, hey guys, I binged. I bring cat, so I'm trustworthy now. I mean, like Happy's a member of their team. Happy's been in the guild for years. They've known Happy for years, and it's like Happy has no reason to lie. So I believe it. Like if I was them and Happy was like outright telling me the situation, I would assume that he's telling the truth. She does seem to have like a nice little connection with like the little cute mascotty characters. I wonder if she's gonna be nice to Panther Lily and Carla. Maybe that would be the thing to kind of help Wendy, as she sees she's nice to Carla, because like again, Selene's not evil. She's somebody with too much power and too much of an impulsive nature for stuff that she wants to do, pretty much. Because again, imagine you have the power to do whatever you want. Like if you figured you wanted to do something, you would say like, okay, I'm gonna go do it. There's nothing stopping you from, it doesn't matter if you could achieve it in the end. There's nothing stopping you from immediately putting the effort into it. Because I mean, more than likely, somebody as powerful as her, unless it's like impossible what she's trying to achieve, then she's probably gonna be able to get it done. If Urza got Dragon Sun magic, she would surpass Lax. That's another one of these ones. Master plan, I get you, man. But anyway, I was gonna do a short stream. I think, I'm trying to think, when's the next day I don't work? I don't work Monday. Monday I'll probably have a long stream. I think Monday I'll probably have like somewhere between like 2 to 3 hours. Is this one I just want to do for the chapter, so I don't need this one to be super long. But I figured I'd come on here and talk about what's going on, kind of just get the events all played up and played out, figure out where things are going to direct and really kind of move towards. But anyway, you guys have a good one. We'll talk more on Monday. We just had to kind of get this one out there. The chapter, I think translation came out like randomly last night at like midnight or something. I'm like,